Mr. Sun came up and he smiled at me. Said it's gonna be a good one, just wait and see. Jumped out of bed and I ran outside, feeling so extra ecstatic. It's the best day ever. It's the best day ever. I'm so busy, got nothing to do. I'm so busy, I got nothing to do. Spent the last 2 hours just tying my shoe. The last 2 hours just tying my shoe. Every flower, every grain of sand is reaching out to shake my hand. It's the best day ever. It's the best day ever. Very, very best day. Sometimes the little things are closing in on me. When I'm feeling down on the roof and cry, I stick my head up in the window and those stars don't stare me, the brightest stars. This magic that's happened right before my eyes. It's the best day ever's gonna last all night. Yeah, the best day ever's gonna last all night long. It's the best day
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Orange County Community Foundation President and CEO, Shelley Haas.
It is my pleasure to introduce our new board chair, Rashid Chantier. With 22 years of financial management real estate experience, Rashid is a partner with Deloitte and manages their Pacific Southwest audit practice. He's really not off to a great start because he got called out of town on business. I apparently did not put that in the contract when he became board chair. But as penance, I did force him to be with us virtually. And so if we can hit it.
Thank you so much, Shelley. It's a personal honor to serve as the chairman of the board of the Orange County Community Foundation. My whole life journey has always been anchored with gratitude and a genuine belief that everything life brings my way is an opportunity to do better, be better. It's been 8 eventful years of service with gratitude on this exceptional board, past and present. I am grateful to every single one of you, and I know I am better because of you. A key part of the stellar experience I've had on OCCF's board is the quality, caliber, and most importantly, the heart of my fellow board members. This is one of the most passionate and involved boards I've ever served with, and it will be my great privilege to serve as the chair for the next 2 years. I also like to acknowledge my fellow officers for the next 2 years. John Williams, Vice Chair of Gibson, Dunn & Crutcher, and Kate Duchesne, Finance Chair of RGP. I'm delighted to have the opportunity to work alongside them over the next 2 years. I would like to recognize Dan Bowler, who has led OCCF's board since 2021. It has been a wonderful journey serving with Dan, and I've learned so much through his wise and heartfelt leadership. I also want to recognize our 3 departing board members who have served on OCCF's board over the last 9 years: Beto Goodwill, Reshma Block, and Deanna Goldglazer. They are highly experienced leaders in business and philanthropy, and we are honored to have served with them on this board. Last but not least, I would also like to recognize Shelley Haas for her exemplary leadership. I couldn't be prouder to be working with Shelley, or more grateful to have her leading such an extraordinary OCCF. Thank you all for what you do every day to deliver on the promise and potential of OCCF's mission. I want to thank all of you for being here with us today. I certainly wish I was there breaking bread and enjoying today's program with you. Most importantly, thank you for your partnership with OCCF in building an Orange County where all have the opportunity to thrive.
Do you like how I made him say nice things about me as part of the script? I do. I heard the applause, so let's just take a moment for that. The whole room wants to thank Deanna Goldglazer, Beto Goodwill, Reshma Block for 9 years of amazing service. And of course, Dan Bolar, who remains on our board but completed his chairmanship, as Bill Podlick just told me, who, I don't know, retired from the board roughly 57 years ago. It's like I think he compared it like a spider web, but I think of something more positive, of just like a web of good that you can never escape. And so that has been the experience of many. Paul Heschen, I got a lot of Greg Palmer, I got a whole room full of former board members who don't get very far. Keith Swain right here, and we're very happy for it. One of the our board is very engaged. We have a small board, typically ranges between 12 to 15 members, as you saw. That's purposeful, so that we can be fully engaged in the work. And part of their amazing work this year was to take a fresh take on our mission statement. I mean, does anyone love rewriting mission statements? Is that their thing? No. I keep thinking, please, if I could just get one that lasts until I retire. Also, we're never changing the logo again. That I will never. I'm telling Monica, I've been through, this is my third. It's going to be the final one. But mission statements are important because they're a statement of who we are and what our promise is to our community. And so the board did some amazing work about our identity, who we believe we are for the Orange County community, and not actually intentionally, sort of by beautiful serendipity, a new mission statement emerged. And so I'd like to share it with all of you here today. The best news is it meets Peter Drucker's qualification, fits on a t-shirt, and also we can all remember it. So we've already declared it a success. Transforming our community's heartfelt intention into greater impact for good. We chose transforming to convey our role in inspiring and elevating philanthropy to achieve its highest potential. Community is literally our middle name, and so of course it's right there to express how passionate we are about mobilizing the generous heart of this community. We get to harness the energy, compassion, and vision of local donors for the causes they care about most, whether it's here in Orange County or across the globe. It's our job to amplify philanthropic impact through best giving practices, and our knowledge of the Orange County community. And of course, at the root of everything we do is an enduring commitment to make our community and hopefully our world a better place for all. So that is who we are, who we've always been, I think, and we just, I think, have the best words we've ever had to describe it. And now I have the incredible pleasure of welcoming my partners in this work, OCCF's executive team, 3 of the most talented, energetic, and dedicated professionals I've ever had the pleasure of working with. And I think they're moving forward at this very moment. Thank you. So notice the seamless staging. Yes, here they come. And I have to tell you, we showed up today. No one's been, talking about what they're wearing, but we showed up today literally like we've been planning this for a month. It just shows how we're in each other's head. So first off, I'd like to welcome OCCF's Executive Vice President and Chief Operating Officer, the wonderful Tammy Tumbling, to share the milestone achievements she's led our team to over the past year.
Thank you, Shelley. And it is such a pleasure to see all of you here today. As OCCF's Executive Vice President and Chief Operating Officer, I am thrilled to share with you the innovation and technology accomplishments we've been working diligently on as a team to ensure that we deliver the best-in-class service to our donors, our community partners, and the OC residents. OCCF is dedicated to delivering an unparalleled donor experience that is personalized and high touch. And this is through supporting robust technology platforms. So just really quick question, how many of you like to text a lot? You prefer to text sometimes over? Or how many of you can't stand those folks that like to text a lot, but we have a lot of loved ones near us that love to text us? Technology's here, and OCCF wants to make sure that we're keeping up, because our future donor base, they're coming and they're also here. So we want to make sure we have everything that everyone needs. So with that, the commitment to technology for us is a critical area for us based on our Vision 2024 strategic plan. And I'm excited to provide a quick update on that. OCCF is proud, very proud to launch our new donor portal and customer relationship system. And it's all done through, guess what? Salesforce. How many of you are familiar with Salesforce? Show of hands. All right, Salesforce is here at OCCF, and we're proud. This is a cutting-edge platform. It allows us to provide donors with a seamless and personalized giving experience. Through our new donor portal, donors can easily access information about their philanthropic activities. They can track their donations and connect to causes that they truly care about the most. It's in our way of ensuring that our donors feel valued and personally connected to the impact they're making in our community, and as Shelley has mentioned a couple of times, across our country and around the world. OCCF's reach is far. In addition to our customer relationship management tool and our donor portal, financial acumen, which you'll hear from my peer in a few minutes, is critical to us, is really making sure that we manage our dollars appropriately, thanks to you who give us these dollars. We also have upgraded our financial systems, and we've converted to Sage Intacct. Any financial folks in the room that are familiar with Sage Intacct? Well, we're here, it's here. And it's a cloud-based accounting software that it ensures even greater transparency and efficiency in managing the funds that you entrust to our care. So if you've been online with us lately, there's more. You may have noted that we redesigned our website, and our user-friendly and intuitive platform is designed to enhance the visitor experience for our donors, nonprofit organizations, and community members alike. Our goal is to facilitate easy navigation. Don't we all want to go to a website and navigate it quite easily? Yeah, we don't want a lot of rigmarole. We want to just go right in, couple of clicks, and we're there. We got you. So with that, we are also looking at making sure that it's robust resources for our donors, professional advisors, nonprofit organizations, and even local students who are seeking scholarships for college education. So our new website will also serve as a key communication channel, enabling us to effectively share our collective stories of impact and engage one another in a meaningful way. So as I close, I would be remiss if I did not recognize the driving force behind the OCCF Vision 2024, and that's our leadership team and our staff. So it is through their hard work and unwavering passion that we're able to advance our overall mission and achieve our Vision 2024 goals. So those that are in the room, our staff, if you could just wave and just, or kind of like jump up and down, you do whatever you want to do because you've earned it. You can hum my theme song, I've Got a Feeling. You can do that too. It's all yours. So I want to thank you for spending time with us today. I want to make sure that you're having a good time. Is everybody having a good time? And we look forward to continuing to partner with each of you to help build a stronger, more vibrant Orange County for all who call our community home. Thank you. Now I have one more job to do, and that's to introduce. Does anybody have a work best friend? I get to introduce my work best friend. And so I have the privilege of introducing my treasured partner, our incredible Chief Financial Officer, Tracy Branson. And what stands out about, we call each other T. So what stands out for me about T is she's been around for 30 years and she has an eagle eye that no other person has at OCCF. And because of that, we are always in very, very good financial standing and good hands with my work best friend, Tracy. Tracy, come on up.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Tammy. Appreciate the nice words. I'm delighted to present this year's financial report because it clearly demonstrates Orange County's spirit of generosity, innovation, and passion for giving. Our annual report will arrive in your mailbox soon, and in the meantime, we're going to walk through some of the highlights. You can take a sneak peek through the QR code that's in your event program, and we'll be sending a link after the program is over. OCCF has now reached $575 million in charitable assets, confirming, that's it. Confirming our position as one of the largest and fastest growing community foundations in the nation, thanks to the generosity here in the room and beyond. This places OCCF in the top 7% in assets among more than 780 community foundation peers across the United States. And one of the most important aspects of OCCF's stewardship is our diligent investment oversight. Strong investment performance not only provides charitable assets for our community, but allows their impact to grow over time. OCCF fulfills this responsibility through a stellar investment committee chaired by Paul Westhead and supported by our independent advisors, Cambridge Associates. The result of their work speaks for themselves, with annualized returns over the past 1, 3, and 7 years ranging from 8.4 to 11%. Pretty amazing, actually, I think. So it's our very tangible way of growing the good. The passion for giving is demonstrated by our donors, and it's truly inspiring. And they've amazed us again this year with their generosity, totaling $103 million in grants and scholarships awarded over the past year. This represents a threefold increase since 2013, when our annual grant making was $32 million. Not a bad multiple over a 10-year period. The generosity of our community has made OCCF the 7th most active grant maker in our community, which means we grant a greater portion of our assets each year than all but 6 other community foundations in the country. Thank you for all you do to grow the good in Orange County and beyond, and our extraordinary donors and nonprofits alike. And now I'd like to introduce my colleague, Kathleen Otero, Senior Vice President of Donor and Community Engagement.
Thank you, Tracy. It is a pleasure to share the stage with such esteemed colleagues and co-conspirators for good. Now, I get the privilege of giving you a couple of exciting updates to share with you, reflecting work we launched 10 years ago as we expanded our role as a community leader and a catalyst for local impact. The first relates to our nonprofit central database. launched in June 2013 as Orange County's only online resource devoted to our local nonprofits. We launched Nonprofit Central as a tool for donors and regional funders to access comprehensive, searchable information on local nonprofits. You can find Nonprofit Central on OCCF's website, as well as through the QR code that's on your program, where you'll see that you can search by name, geographic location or service area, and explore detailed information about programs and services, board and staff leadership, as well as financial metrics. As more nonprofits learned about Nonprofit Central and the increased visibility and connections to peer organizations it provided, our database grew dramatically, now including more than 550 nonprofit organizations working in every corner and on every issue in our county. But perhaps the most significant impact of our Nonprofit Central has been the countywide Giving Days that it launched. What started as a single iHeart OC Giving Day in 2015 has now evolved into a series of year-round cause-specific giving days that since 2015 have raised more than $25 million for our local nonprofits. $25 million and still growing. A true testament to the generosity of the Orange County community and the stellar quality of our nonprofit sector. Now, the foundational work that led to the Nonprofit Central development was our first Connect OC community report, produced in partnership with McKinsey & Company in November of 2012. Connect OC surfaced local knowledge on 3 key issues: the health and wellness of our community, the safety net protecting our most vulnerable residents, and the education of our youth. The data and insights led to important findings about our community's greatest needs, promising solutions, and how philanthropy is uniquely positioned to move the needle. Now, if you were at last year's annual meeting, you know that 10 years and a global pandemic later, we refreshed the Connect OC data, which I had the pleasure of introducing with our board member, Paul Kagoo, and Dr. Wallace Walrod during the program last year. Over the past year, we've continued to dig into the data, finding both positive trends worthy of celebration, as well as new areas of concern and rising need. In each area, we took a deeper dive into a spotlight issue, which we feel merits the attention of donors and nonprofit leaders alike. For health and wellness, we explored the dramatic increase in youth mental health needs. For safety net, we examined the food insecurity experienced by local children and families. And in education, we dug into the opportunities to expand workforce readiness for disconnected youth and young adults. We hope you'll find our refreshed Connect OC data on OCCF's website, which is also able to be found by the QR code that's in your programs as well. And really let us know what you think and how we can help you engage in these important issues in our county. And with that, I'd like to welcome Shelley back up to the podium to continue our exciting program for today.
For folks who are at our 30th anniversary, 2019, right before the pandemic, if you have a better memory than I know, because I was there and I wrote it, but we did something a little crazy then too, is we announced a kind of a crazy bold goal. We had just the prior year, after 28 years, we had crossed this big milestone of $500 million, $500 million in cumulative granting. So if everybody knows what the Community Foundation is, right? People put money in, we grant it out to nonprofits here, everywhere, scholarships. We get to be that wonderful mobilizer of people's giving to the tune of $500 million. When I arrived in 2000, that total was $20 million over the first 10 years. So talk about momentum. And I went into the team one day and I said, hey, I have an idea. It took us 28 years to get to $500 million. What if we doubled it in a quarter of the time? Like, how would that be? And I think a good test of a really audacious goal is that you have like stunned silence for, I guess, a period of time. But no one passes out. Like that's where I try to like be in that sweet spot. If people are just like, yeah, that sounds great, you totally undershot it, right? Like it's right. And if they've passed out, then you've gone too far. But I feel like just like some stunned, disbelieving silence that's then ultimately followed by like, well, how in the world would we do that? Nailed it. So we adopted it. We adopted it internally, and then once we felt like it wasn't just completely unhinged, just slightly unhinged, that's also the bar that I reached for, we announced it publicly at our 30th, and we said by our 35th, so in 5 years at that time, which would be next year, November 2024, we're gonna aim for this goal. And then 4 months after I stood here saying this, the world shut down. And we had no idea what was going to happen to giving. We had no idea what was going to happen. Well, we thought it was going to last 2 weeks, right? Oh, that's okay, right? Kids are going to be home for 2 weeks. Who thought it was going to be 2 weeks? Yeah, we all thought it was going to be 2 weeks. And then you hear like some crazy John the Baptist, like epidemiologist that's going 2 or 3 years. You're like, where did that guy come from? Apparently from the future to tell us what was about to happen. By the way, I did tell the AV people, my new best friends, I said, just hang with me, because none of it will actually come out the way it's on the page. But I'll always go back and find you at the cues. It's probably the reason why we have to change AV companies every year, and I've gone back to look, most of them have gone out of business and moved to the Bahamas after but it's okay, there's more left in Orange County, so we'll keep finding them. But in the wake of the pandemic, which we're still sort of in the wake, we could have had no idea how this community would rise to the occasion, and what followed is something we could have never imagined. You saw that slide that Tracy presented. When I joined OCCF, that bar was $5 million a year. That's what was being given out of the foundation. Since the pandemic, it's been over $100 million. So, in this room, for the first time ever, you're all about to get some news. But here's the part. Okay, here's the hard part. Are you ready? Because we have a thing to do. Okay, now here's the thing that I'm going to show you. But I trust you. So on your tables, I trust you, all 600 of you. Okay, don't do anything yet. Just hold it. Okay, just hold it. Just like this, just hold it. Okay, don't do anything. If you do something, I'm going to see you. So I'm going to come right and find you. So just hold it. Okay? I didn't feel that having 600 people here drinking was going to be a great idea, so I decided to do this instead. And we are going to shower this room in the sparkle and shine it deserves. So when I say the word, you're going to point this up. Here's the problem if you do it like I did. Oh, come on, John. Was that John Williams? Son of a... All right, John, find out who did that behind you. I'm taking names. That was Marshall Kaplan. Somebody get him out of here. So, as Marshall so generously just shared with us, so here's my thing. Don't point it at your neighbor. I made that mistake. Monica lived, but I was like, well, what does this do? So we're going to point it straight up, and you can see arrows. Everybody see the arrows? The arrows are the direction of the twist. So when I change the slide, we are all going to celebrate, because I am ecstatic to share. For the first time here today, we crossed the $1 billion mark in February of this year. I did it. Whoa. That is all of you. That is the people in this room. Randy Draper, Jim Loss, every donor that is in this room, Keith Swain. All of you are the reason that this has been accomplished. And because we aren't ones to rest on our laurels, even though we hadn't announced it yet, we still are another 50 million on top of that. So we're on our way to our next billion. And we have a little special something to share with you.
What if every heartfelt intention inspired greater good? What if the impact of every dollar we give grew over time, improving lives for generations to come? The Orange County Community Foundation has been committed to growing the good since its founding in 1989. Every dollar planted here has sprouted countless reasons why Orange County is a better place today and will continue to flourish tomorrow. But what does $1 billion truly look like? It's not just a number. It is real lives touched and transformed in powerful ways. Positive change that flows through local communities, across the country, and around the world. Thanks to the visionary donors, dreamers, and doers who believed in the power of local philanthropy decades ago. Those who have invited us on their giving journey along the way. And to everyone dedicated to making Orange County a place where all have the opportunity to thrive. The Orange County Community Foundation has reached a historic milestone. More than $1 billion in grants and scholarships awarded since 1989. Orange County, your generosity continues to amaze us. Thank you 1 billion times over, Orange County.
When we set that goal, we did a whole data study, and there were only 35 other community foundations in the 110-year history of community foundations that had ever reached that milestone. There might have been a few others since the pandemic, but we know we're part of now. Orange County is part of a very rare group, and I don't want to ever hear anybody talk about Orange County not being generous again. Remember back in the day, there was like some articles that came out. Sam knows, Dunn knows. Orange County doesn't give enough. Well, you sent them right here, okay? You sent, but so you said, I'm going to have you talk to my friend Shelley, and she's going to correct that for you. Well, of course, we've been holding this news since February because we knew the only way to celebrate it would be in this room with all of you who made it possible, the donors whose generosity fuels that giving, the nonprofits doing the work, because no one would have any place to give to it if it weren't for you. We are all part of that incredible achievement, and we can't wait to keep achieving the next one. So I love that quote, which is probably why I put it in the video, it's not like by accident that it showed up there. Never doubt that a small group of committed citizens can change the world. Of course, it's the only thing that ever has, by Margaret Mead. And another one of my favorite quotes, I mentioned Peter Drucker earlier, but Peter said, the product of philanthropy is a changed human life. The product, it's what we're all making here in this room, the product of philanthropy is a changed human life. So while it's all kinds of fun to celebrate a big achievement and a big number, but honestly, what brings it to life is the change that represents. And so we want to bring this achievement to life for just a moment and take you back to one of OCCF's very first community leadership initiatives. Those of you who were on the board at the time know we really looked. Dick Allen was my board chair. Dick. It's my 10th anniversary at OCCF, and we've been in the Bay Area at a gathering of community foundations across the state. We heard about some incredible work being done in the Silicon Valley by the community foundation that was essentially city by city running the payday lenders out of town that were taking advantage of first generation folks that were unbanked or underbanked, and they ran them out of town so that people could get appropriate financial support, people living in poverty instead of being continued to fall deeper into poverty. And on the Southwest flight, does anyone know Dick Allen? He has to be number one on the plane every time. Every time I flew with him, he's elbowing me out of the way so he could be number one in line. I still love him, but he does. It's a true story. All my stories are true, except for the ones that aren't. And the IEV's going like, where the hell is she? None of that's in the script. It's just not there. I look at it like a blank page. There's words there, but maybe better words can come in the moment. I saw Dick sitting right there, and I remember. And he said, Shelley, what's going to keep you here for the next 10 years? And I said, that. actually being an agent of change in our community. Yes, being a resource to donors for their passions. Yes, yes, and more. Yes, and deeply understanding the greatest needs of our community and figuring out where we can fill needs and gaps that aren't addressed. And one of our very first forays was in the area of the needs of our veterans and military families. So it was 2010, 2011, and news of servicemen and women returning from duty in Iraq and Afghanistan were flooding the national news cycle, and a growing number of donors, Bill Pollock was one of them, and Bob Greenberg and a host of others, were calling into OCCF and saying, we're reading all these stories. What's happening for veterans in Orange County? How can we address this locally? And it turned out that absolutely no one knew. It just didn't, there wasn't any research done, there wasn't any study, and so Carol Ferguson appointed herself a research team of one. Oh yeah, we can clap for Carol. She started taking it upon herself. She went knocking on doors and calling up nonprofits and finding out what their experiences were, the community colleges that had Veteran Services Center. She formed a giving circle and brought together folks that cared about this issue and wanted to help. And around that time, we learned of USC's study of veteran needs in LA. I told you, Jeremy, I'm always coming back. I'm always going to come back to the queue. He didn't believe me, but he does now. And asked them to replicate this study in Orange County. We revealed the completed study in 2015 with then chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Michael Mullen, addressing a standing room only crowd. Literally the only time in my lifetime we've ever had all the broadcast channels in Orange County unless something blew up. We were pretty excited. It's hard to get broadcast down here, but I guess if the Joint Chiefs of Staff come, they make the trip down from LA. And it was an incredible opportunity to launch not only the study, but an initiative. We made a commitment to launch the Orange County Veterans Initiative with an initial commitment of $500,000, which I think I spontaneously said at the podium. If my staff, yeah, Carol's nodding. She said, yeah, you did, just make it up. Well, now, 8 years and $6 million later, we have significantly strengthened Orange County's network of nonprofits serving the health, educational, and career needs of local veterans and their families, forged deep partnerships. UCI knows in that house through their supporting our Military Families and Veterans Collaborative, and our dear and deep partnership with Goodwill's Tierney Center. Orange County, as a result, now stands as a model for, as Goodwill says, serving those who have served. None of what we have accomplished over the past 12 years would have been possible without these partners. And so we asked two of our nearest and dearest, Pat Donahue of Donahue Casey and Nicole Saddam of Goodwill, to share some thoughts on the responsibility we all bear for Orange County veteran community.
We were asked by OCCF to take a look at the study for veteran services in Orange County. Frankly, I was appalled at the study. It was, to us and our company, it was unacceptable, and we wanted to get involved in how we might improve the situation for veterans here in Orange County. The Tierney Center kind of jumped off the page at us as something that we thought made a lot of sense.
Goodwill of Orange County actually started the Tierney Center 7 years ago, and it really was a natural extension of our mission. So when we initially talked to Pat about ways that we could really work together to support veterans, we talked about making sure that the Tierney Center could become a place and a space for more services and collaboration throughout the community.
You might be living out of your car as a veteran, as a discharged veteran, and now we're asking you to drive around Orange County to 140 different places. I mean, that made no sense to us. And we're in the shopping center business. We wanted a one-stop shop. We wanted a mall where you could drive in and get everything done. And so that really was the catalyst for us to start discussions with the Tierney Center.
When veterans walk into our door, they can receive an array of services, from emergency assistance to career development services. We saw mental health issues becoming, one of the first challenges. Also, veterans experiencing homelessness, veterans who were in need, just in general, of career support services.
We were introduced to this program through Shelley Haas and OCCF. They have been with us every step of the way along this path. Instead of us giving, let's say, $50,000, would you be interested in us putting on a luncheon and taking that $50,000 investment in the luncheon and maybe leveraging that 5-10 times? And that really is what happened.
The Orange County Community Foundation provided not only the facilitated support for collaboration, but also the funding so that we could support several staff positions and build our capacity to make an impact in the lives of veterans.
I'm thrilled to be here, to be here at the Tierney Center today. I mean, I walked that space a number of times, and you can easily see the difference it's going to make for the veterans' experience here in Orange County.
It is so inspiring to see veterans come in, and while they may have an immediate need, they also have incredible resiliency. They've been through so much, they have served our country so well, and we see people with traits of resiliency, leadership, discipline, and ultimately a will, right, to make their life better.
We had been involved with Goodwill on and off through this process, but really when Nicole got involved, you just had a sense that things were going to start moving and get going here.
I think what has been most successful about the model is that one organization cannot do this alone. It takes community partnerships, collaborations, from the funders, the community, other nonprofit organizations, and I think that's really the model, that you can't do this alone.
No, I agree. We had one goal, and that was to provide a space for the veterans that would improve the veteran experience in Orange County, and I think we're well on our way of doing that.
Well, we're so grateful, Nicole, and to Pat for your partnership and for all of the nonprofits that have been part of our Orange County Veterans Initiative. And we're so thrilled that UCI and Goodwill are going to continue carrying the banner forward on this work. And now, I don't know, if it's been good so far, it's about to get better. I'm not kidding. I have the pleasure of introducing a very special guest today. Amy Gutierrez, who's joining us from the Tierney Center. Amy is a Marine Corps veteran and proud mother of a 9-year-old daughter. Literally, that is the introduction that she wanted. I decided maybe a little more context would be helpful, so I asked Michael Carter at the Tierney Center for some reflections on Amy, and he said this: Amy is a dedicated mother who is willing to do anything for her daughter. As Amy received services from us every step of the way, she stated how there were other veterans out there who were worse off than her. So even when her back was up against the wall, she was thinking of those even less fortunate than her. I can't count how many times Amy expressed gratitude for every bit of help we provided her. Amy is just an amazing woman. So there you have it, a Marine, a mother, and an amazing woman. Please join me in welcoming Amy Gutierrez to the stage.
Thank you, Ms. Shelley. So good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Amy, and I am deeply honored to stand here before you today, sharing my journey and experiences. To provide context, I must take you back to my roots. I was raised in an area of New Mexico where poverty was the unfortunate norm and opportunities to escape were scarce. The majority of individuals who grew up in this community rarely ventured beyond its confines. At the age of 21, I felt a compelling need to break free from this cycle, to gather life experiences, and to find a meaningful purpose in my existence. This calling led me to make the life-altering decision to enlist in the military. When it came to choosing my branch of service, the path was clear. I aspired to be among the best, so I became a Marine. Over 4 years, I served honorably, and early on, I obtained my secret clearance and was one of 2 Marines selected in my unit responsible for managing classified documents and correspondence between executive leadership, to include that of the Commandant of the Marine Corps. I also worked in collaboration with NCIS, assisting in several classified investigations. My journey took me to Japan for 2 years, and it ultimately ended with me being stationed in 29 Palms, California. However, my life took an unexpected turn just before discharge from the Marine Corps. I became a mother to a beautiful daughter, Olivia. And eventually, circumstances forced me into the role of a single parent. In my unyielding determination to provide a better life for Olivia, I took every conceivable step to ensure the cycle of poverty ended with me. Initially, I believed I devised the perfect plan: complete my education and secure a stable job that would provide for both of us. But as life unfolded, it became abundantly clear that it was anything but simple. I initially went to school for cosmetology and got licensed. I then pursued my undergraduate degree in business administration with a concentration on project management, followed immediately by my master's in business. Subsequently, I had embarked on an entrepreneurial venture in owning my own salon suite, only to have it unravel due to the unforeseen challenges posed by the COVID-19 pandemic. So with my education, time in service, and experience as a business owner, I diligently applied for countless job opportunities, only to be met with a repetitive and disheartening refrain. Matters reached a crucial juncture when my landlord informed me that within 30 days, my child and I would be without a home. Desperation led me to search for assistance, but I encountered numerous roadblocks until at last, I was directed to the VA hospital in Long Beach, where I was advised to explore the Tierney Center. Upon entering the Tierney Center for the first time, I was enveloped by a profound sense of belonging. The staff there welcomed me and treated me with unwavering respect. It was a transformative experience, making it the first time since leaving the Marine Corps that I truly felt valued as a person. I had the opportunity to share my story and was swiftly directed towards a wealth of resources. Initially, I received immediate housing assistance, which involved a temporary stay in hotels, and subsequently connected with SSVF program to address my long-term housing needs. Simultaneously, the Tierney Center provided vital resources, catering not only to my well-being, but that to my daughter. Soon it became evident that several of the medical issues I was dealing with had not been properly or adequately documented in relations to VA benefits. The Tierney Center facilitated my connection with the Wounded Warrior Project, thereby supporting my pursuit of disability benefits and claims. With Olivia and me in a more stable position, I had the privilege of working with Christina from the Tierney Center employment team, who helped me search, apply, and secure employment. My experience with the Tierney Center has been life-changing, a beacon of hope, a guiding star that illuminated my path to rebuilding my life. I extend a profound gratitude to the dedicated staff of the Tierney Center for their non-judgmental support, treating me with dignity and respect I had only known during my time in the Marine Corps. I wish to express my deepest thanks to the Goodwill of Orange County and to the Orange County Community Foundation for the remarkable collaboration that has unequivocally given me my life back. Thank you.
Takes a lot of guts to stand up in front of 600 people and tell your story, especially if you don't know every single one of them like I do. For me, it's like, it's like a big family dinner. But Amy, thank you. Thank you for being with us and for giving us that window. Isn't it really astonishing, the experience that our veterans have after, just like what Amy said, their time of feeling honor and place and position in the military? You heard her credentials, and then coming back to civilian life. where all of that feels like starting from complete ground zero. Isn't that? It's really impactful. I'd seen Amy's remarks and we practiced this morning, and just hearing it again, I heard it afresh, and so many other stories like Amy's. We didn't do this on purpose. It was just, I guess, sort of a wonderful serendipity that it turns out, of course, that Veterans Day is being recognized tomorrow. Officially, it's Saturday. And so I would like to take this moment to have any of you who have served in the armed forces to please stand, and we can thank you for your service to our country, if you wouldn't mind. So we have folks, and if you were someone who stood and you see Carol coming around, raise your hand. We were so grateful. The Tierney Center was able to bring what are called military challenge coins. It's a coin that honors service to our country and is a prized recognition. We're so grateful, Michael, for you bringing those for us, and we'd like to share them with anyone who served, and you can maybe flag Carol down. I think we had some great service people over here on the other side of the room, Carol. So I guess I eventually have to let you go, but not quite yet. This is always the part where I go, oh, the party's almost over. You know, you do all the planning for months and you envision it, and then you're here and it's even better than you thought it could be. And eventually it has to end, but not quite yet, because it's still Marshall 114. So you're going to indulge me, because I actually don't really have a choice, but I'm just going to assume that you're going to indulge me, because I'd like to share, in the spirit of what we've just experienced together, a personal connection that I have to those serving our country in the armed forces. It was not part of my family background. My father was a reservist in the Marines, Amy, but that was before I was around, and so I didn't have a lot of personal connection until the following happened. When my son was in 3rd grade, it was 2012, and OCCF was just getting started in this work for veterans, and there was a neighborhood mom who was taking up collections to send to Iraq and Afghanistan. How many of us did that? Had people in their neighborhoods or schools, and they had, the list of things they want, socks and underwear and, snacks, and put care packages together. And we did that as an OCCF team, and we did, Sean and I, my son Sean, went and shopped and put some things together. The number one item on the list of suggested things to include were cards, letters, drawings from children, just a little touch of home, because of course so many of our servicemen and women are parents and are away from their children. And so I asked my 9-year-old if he'd be willing, and so he sat down, no direction for me, at his desk with his little white paper and his pencil in hand. This is the actual note. I cannot believe I could find it. I felt like gave myself so many mom points for literally digging this out. So I'm going to read it to you. This is what Sean wrote. Dear soldiers, my name is Sean and I'm in 3rd grade. I'm very grateful for you fighting for our country and for our freedom. It is very brave of you to put yourself in danger to keep us safe. I have some questions to ask you. First, and mind you, this was all him. First, do you sometimes have to fight in snow? Clearly, I've never taken my son to the Middle East. What other food do you like other than beef jerky? Now, I have to say that's because beef jerky was on the list. I'm sure that's because it transports well. But also, do they eat anything else? If you're 9, you might want to know. Are there special vehicles, this very 9-year-old boy, are there special vehicles that you wouldn't use normally other than tanks? And here's the real kicker. How long does it take for your clothes to get dirty? I to this day, he's now 20, I have no idea what that was about. That is all I have to ask. I hope you come back soon and like the stuff we got you. Sincerely, Sean, with the big smiley face. So, and then he put it in an envelope clearly also my child has not sent a lot of mail. And he closed it, and then he just wrote soldiers across the back of the envelope. You know, like where it seals, just soldiers, just across the back of the envelope. And Sean insisted that I include a way for the soldiers to write back. So I put my email address at the bottom of the note, knowing that the chances of this plain white envelope written in pencil to soldiers, that the odds of that making its way to anyone on active duty were slim to none, and that the odds of ever hearing back from anyone were even lower. But he kept asking, when do you think they're going to write back? And we, like we do with parents, like, well, I'm sure they're very busy, and, you know, let's, you know, make a Lego. So you can imagine my utter shock when 2 weeks, this was written on October 10th, 2012, October 24th, 2012, I received the following in my email inbox. Hello, my soldiers and I recently received a care package, and it had a letter from Sean. We would like to thank Sean and his family for the kind words and all of the good stuff in the package. It means a lot to each of us that you guys are thinking of us. We may not always be able to write or email, but I promise every one of us who receive your letters and packages are very thankful. I would also like to take this time to answer Sean's questions. So Sergeant Daniel Hatter proceeded to answer every one of Sean's questions, including the one about the laundry. And he followed with pictures from his 2 deployments. At age of 27, this was already his 2nd deployment in Afghanistan. And he sent Sean items from an Afghani bazaar, kind of like some kind of a scorpion in resin. I don't know. It's in Sean's room to this day. Beginning what has become an 11-year friendship. As we have watched Daniel serve in the Middle East, he had a 3rd deployment in Afghanistan. He was at Bagram Air Force Base when it was bombed. We were all traumatized. He served in Germany, back in the States. And as we corresponded, Daniel shared his experiences in the service. And I think because I could have been his mother, age-wise, he told some things to me that he might have been reticent to tell his own mother for fear of worrying her. He wrote to me about his concern for his members of his unit. He wrote to me when one of his company took his own life in a portable bathroom 50 feet from where Daniel was sleeping. But he also wrote about what moved him to service, which is why I'm telling you this story. Daniel grew up in the South, in Alabama mostly, and developed a deep interest and passion about the history of the civil rights movement, because just like all the things that Amy is, Daniel is a student, a historian, and dreaming of being a teacher, a high school teacher one day. When Daniel enlisted at the age of 23, he chose the 101st Airborne Division at Fort Campbell, Kentucky. He could have enlisted anywhere, but he chose the 101st because they were the ones that were called upon by President Eisenhower to protect the Little Rock Nine. In 1959, after the governor of Arkansas refused to desegregate schools in Arkansas after the passage of Brown versus the Board of Education, and called in the National Guard to prevent Black students from being integrated into schools. And the president called on the 101st Airborne to go and stand with those students and walk them and keep them safe. You might look at Daniel and not looking as he looks and growing up in the South, and you might not imagine that he would travel to another state to enlist with a unit because of their proud history, to fight for those both here and abroad in search of justice, of freedom, and opportunity. Daniel continues to do that now. And we texted this morning. I told him I'm going to send him I already showed him the veterans video, and I'm going to send him this recording, because being with him in his journey has brought all of what our servicemen and women experience to such a deep place for me and for our family. I am so thrilled Daniel called me when he was got a position that was much coveted with the Army's Equal Opportunity Division in Maryland. I got to connect him with some community foundation leaders in Maryland and Virginia because he was looking for ways to engage his company in their local community. And I am super thrilled to say that he has just been promoted to the rank of Master Sergeant and is teaching in the Army's Equal Opportunity Management Institution, helping inform a next generation of leaders in the Army to value diversity and inclusion and equity. Daniel, Amy, and their band of brothers and sisters in all branches of service are what makes me so deeply proud of the work that we have been able to do through the Orange County Veterans Initiative. And so I want to use their example to exhort all of us that we are needed today more than we have ever been, I believe, on the front lines, in our homes, in our communities, in this county, in our country, in the world. We are needed as a force for good, armed with empathy, compassion and understanding, with kindness, with love for one another, the very definition of philanthropy. We are called to stand for good forever. That is our theme today, and that is the heart of what we do here together with all of you. And speaking of forever, which is how long OCCF will be around, I guess today officially marks the beginning of our 35th anniversary year, which we are going to celebrate in style. We're taking it uptown to an evening event. Somebody said, oh my God, do I have to wear like a tuxedo and a ball gown? No, just come as you are, as always. But it'll be a little extra, and it's going to be on Thursday, November 21st. I'm sure we will remind you of the date an annoying number of times between now and then, but I will start the process. Okay, now I really do have to let you go. So in our closing, we're going to move off the slide and go back to the great. Oh, Jeremy and I, we're just one person today. Thank you, Jeremy. So a couple of things. Thank yous, a couple of reminders, and then a benediction. So first of all, I want to thank the absolutely extraordinary marketing team of the Orange County Community Foundation under the flawless direction of Monica Seeley. Where is she? She's in sequence, back there waving. None of this happens without Monica. Like, I can't even tell you. And her incredible team of Brooke Dorsey, Asia Scott. Both, you will see them in the room. If you see them, give them a hug, buy them a drink. They are exhausted but happy because today was everything we would have hoped.
As we part amongst our litter and our watering cans and our lack of parking validation and air services, we're about to enter, of course, a really special time of year that I know we all treasure. We're coming up on our holiday season, and so this is the intention that I love to set for all of us. May we strive to bring the peace, the love, the joy, the hope that our world so desperately needs us for. Please take care of yourselves, of each other, of Orange County. This county needs you, needs everyone that's doing and bringing the best that we can to strengthen this community for our future. And we are so, so grateful for all of you. That is my prayer, that we will be in this room and in each other's hearts for good, forever. And the people said? Amen. Amen. All right, thank you.
Mr. Sun came up and he smiled at me. Said it's gonna be a good one, just wait and see. Jumped out of bed and I ran outside, feeling so extra ecstatic. It's the best day. It's the best day. so busy, got nothing to do. I'm so busy, I got nothing to do. Spent the last 2 hours just tying my shoe. The last 2 hours just tying my